Championship is back. This is a classic cruiserweight match. This is the GAW cruiserweight style. Swerve Strickland, the GAW cruiserweight champion.
You ain't got the best of me. I'm swinging left, right, till there's nothing left in me. And I'ma dress nice, I got a date with destiny. Not a talent, but the hustle sold separately. I'ma say it with my chest, and you checking me. You know I gotta question anybody testing me, cause they get sat down. I call that the SATs. Woo. I think this might be a classic. Scott Storch produced it, that means this is smash it. Beat you before and I might reenact it, just to make sure that that memory's intact. It's time to pick a winner.
It's time for the Evolved Gauntlet, the first one in GAW history. Eric Cole with 3 consecutive wins. Heisman kick, it's countered by Ace. Ace has him up. Ace absolutely drops him. Joe with the inverted tombstone pile driver. Diaz, there's the kick. Finishes with a disconnect, and how fitting is this? It's Derek Cole. Cole with a spear. So it all comes down to this. No one can stop Derek Cole. No. Oh, he's popped up front. Matches him with the right. TJ Frost has won the Evolved Gauntlet. Just beating the record.
Once I get it, they ain't never knocking off my crown. They gotta take it. Honestly, you might as well embrace it. I'ma hit you hard enough to have you asking people what the date is. This is decades in the making. I ain't stopping till there's no more conversations and doubts about the greatness.
But the black and gold has stormed the ring, courtesy of Adam Cole, baby.
Me, and I'ma dress nice, I got a date with destiny. Yeah, how about we call it best of 3? Cause you got one, but you ain't got the best of me. I'm swinging left, right, till there's nothing left in me. And I'ma dress nice, I got a date with destiny.
Takahashi with a spinning heel kick. Oh my God, you can't ground him, you can't ground him. Takahashi is the new Raw champion. You are Santanico. Dead man's lobotomy, Crimson coronation. I believe that we are looking at Santanico. She's too smart, she's too athletic. Catanzaro is going to leave Nitro as the champion. 3 men, 1 fall, Apex titles on the line. Ultimate, Gutierrez, Igris in pitched combat. Jackal is in, Igris is down on the outside. Jackal's gonna activate the briefcase. Max Ultimate on the outside. He is stopping Jackal from activating the briefcase right where they started. Ultimate max damage on Gutierrez. But Igris from behind. Igris got up. Igris crucifix from behind. Igris is going to retain. Igris just stole this match from Max Ultimate.
How about we call it best of 3? Cause
this contest might be the most important, the most influential title match in the history of Nitro. Because Ospreay, Cutter, double underhooks. McIntyre got him back up into the Alabama Slam. Lines it up. Tower of London. Straight into the Chaos Project. Talk about a match of the year. Right, McIntyre to his feet. McIntyre, Claymore attempt. Cutter attempt. Neither of them landed. McIntyre gets him back to his feet. There's the Claymore. Drew McIntyre. McIntyre hooks the leg. McIntyre is leaving Nitro as the champion. McIntyre will leave with 4 championships.
I got a date with destiny.
Welcome back to new season, new challenge, and welcome to Storm. 4 title matches coming at you tonight as promised, and we begin with the IWGP Jr Heavyweight Championship held by GAW's own Bandido, who for the last 2 years has held various championships across GAW and the world. Very few times in Bandido's last 2.5, 3 years has he been without a championship. It could end tonight, but it's Kota Ibushi, one of GAW's best, one of the world's best.
Bandido. That's the left.
Yes, Bandido. The man trained, mentored by Rey Mysterio. He won the IWGP Jr Heavyweight Championship from Taiji Ishimori last year. And Bandido has ran with that title ever since. It's been an incredible story for him. He was the Rumble on the Beach winner in the final year before the Rumble switched over to giving its winner #1 contendership for the Apex or World Championship. At that time, it gave its winner #1 contendership for the Intercontinental Championship. Bandido won it, and then went on to win the Intercontinental Championship, now of course held by Samoa Joe. Meanwhile, Kota Ibushi, a 2-time GAW World Champion. Ibushi, one of our best. Kota Ibushi, one of the few men to hold the GAW Triple Crown. He is a former Cruiserweight champion, a former Tag Team champion, and a former 2-time World Champion. Ibushi formed one half, of course, of the Golden Lovers with Kenny Omega. Omega, the only man to win the GAW Golden Ring. Will Ospreay had a chance to do that back at Nitro, couldn't get it done. Now Drew McIntyre enters the hallowed ground of men who had GAW Triple Crown winners. Ibushi, Omega, Mysterio, Styles on that list. But Bandido on an exclusive list of his own. He is now just the 3rd man in the last decade to hold championships in multiple promotions for over a year. He passed that threshold with the IWGP Jr Heavyweight Championship, and of course, he held the MLW World Heavyweight Championship for over a year. By the way, he did it with 3 different titles. He held the PWG World Championship for 2 years. Bandido has been everywhere. And now he's showcasing some of that ability here against Ibushi. Beautiful frog splash from Bandido. One of the best athletes there is. Only a 1 count from Ibushi. Now you're seeing the difference. You know, we saw the GAW Cruiserweight Championship on the line back on Evolution. Swerve Strickland came in, took that title into Evolution, fought Flyboy. And you see the differences between the GAW Cruiserweight style and the IWGP Jr Heavyweight style. You're seeing just a little bit more, I don't want to say polished, but you're seeing more strategy here. You're seeing a bit of a crisper fight. Whereas the GAW Cruiserweight style is incredibly fast, incredibly high-paced. Wrestlers are prone to mistakes, but they're also prone to some of the greatest. Oh my God, Ibushi over the top. Shooting star indeed. Kota Ibushi lines an upstanding moonsault press on the outside. My goodness, Kota Ibushi looking for his first title in GAW in 7 years. Bandido up to his feet. Bandido will catch Ibushi coming back in, and now Bandido drops him straight on the top rope. Gotta love the interesting if you're a Bandido fan. If you are, Rey Mysterio, who is over in Orlando, Florida, training, preparing for the GAW, or the Wrestling World Cup, I should say, the World Wrestling Center. Construction complete. We heard from Kevin Kelly back on Evolution. More exclusive coverage to come, including an interview with Kenny Omega as he breaks down what it takes to build a World Cup roster. Kota Ibushi, a three-time IWGP Jr Heavyweight Champion. 11th all-time in terms of total combined days as the champ. Bandido, by the way, has eclipsed that with one single reign. Now, Bandido out of the corner, rolling Ibushi, and there's the 22-plex from Bandido. We saw it before, he brought it out last season. Bandido walks away, still the champion. Bandido, that is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight style. Bandido, brilliance in tactics and brilliance in execution, and the 22-plex. Too much for Kota Ibushi. New season, new challenge begins with, whoa, wait a minute, that's Taiji Ishimori. Ishimori has jumped the barricade. He's assaulted Bandido. Kota Ibushi still recovering from the 22-plex on the outside. And now Ishimori. Bandido had no way of seeing this coming. And Taiji Ishimori, oh my God, the crossface from Ishimori. Oh my goodness. There was no chance for anyone to respond. And Rey Mysterio over in Atlanta, Ishimori mercifully going to let him go, but I don't think it was merciful. Taiji Ishimori is back, and he's looking to get his title back. We worked, we toiled, we experienced pain and suffering. We did the impossible, and the masses moved with us. We became the House of Black. But we were outsmarted. And the responsibility of this reality rests on my shoulders. It was my arrogance that meant I could not see Dash Foley coming. My headstrong nature that meant I was not out there with my team when it happened. But I must warn you of this. The House of Black was not fairly beaten when it is now clear we were not at our best. But you have awakened us to our own shortcomings. We will not be beaten again. Welcome back, Chris Sabin. Member of the Motor City Machine Guns and a two-time Intercontinental champion. Could it be three-time after tonight? We already saw over on Evolution Lars Nightfall upsetting Takahashi, winning the Raw Championship in the main event over there. Now, of course, there was a vicious attack of Takahashi beforehand that contributed to that as well. But Chris Sabin, he was known for putting on some of the best matches in this championship's history when he held the title. Samoa Joe won the Intercontinental Championship from Matt Riddle back at Nitro. And you see how dangerous he is, how intimidating he is. And the fans, I think, are not quite sure if they're happy to see him or scared that he's back. But I'll tell you this, Samoa Joe, the former world champion, did not leave on the best of terms. He was forced out, and many people believe that he would never compete again. But here he is. Samoa Joe's first defense since winning the title back at Nitro, and it's against a man in Chris Sabin. Held the title for 204 days, 4 successful defenses in some of the best matches of the year. Sabin versus Low Ki in June of last season. Sabin's first defense as the Intercontinental Champion. I do believe made the Match of the Year shortlist. If you guys were on Discord, those of you that voted on the Match of the Year, ended up being the three-way dance main event of Battle at Broadway. Lancelot versus Omega Woods versus Santonico for the Raw Championship. And there were several Intercontinental title matches that could have been considered. Matt Riddle against Timothy Thatcher comes to mind as well. Claudio Castagnoli, 2 challenges of the title, both in tremendous matches, and in both instances, oh my God, Joe went to the apron, Sabin drops the axe handle off the apron. We'll see if Samoa Joe continues the tradition of great matches as Intercontinental Champion. I don't know if he's so worried about it. I think he's more concerned with legacy, matching the 130 days that he spent as World Champion to begin GAW's stay here on YouTube. Chris Sabin, you'll remember, won the Intercontinental Champion back at Nitro 11. He defeated Moose. Moose was part of the White Company. And Sabin going after the announce table, Samoa Joe back in the ring. Sabin has to go back, and Joe jumps right on top of him. Sabin might have to use that table for later. That is planning into the future, because I don't know what you're going to be able to do to keep Samoa Joe down. You're going to have to use your environment to your advantage if you're Chris Sabin. Right hand caught by Joe. This is just a different level of violence than we're used to seeing from the Intercontinental Championship. In fact, it's probably not since, I would say, you got to go back probably to Jon Moxley in 2017 to find a guy who is as violent as this. I'm including Matt Riddle in that. Sabin trying to jump on top of him, but Samoa Joe again, just too good. Drives him down, Joe. And Joe knows where his bread is buttered. Middle of the ring, going after the legs. Sabin avoiding the leg pick. Who knows? Joe, they call him the Samoan submission machine, and with good reason. Now Sabin, striking. Sabin took him down. Takes a special kind of performance to ground a man like Samoa Joe. Joe now playing defense, and he does it beautifully. There's really nothing that Joe can't do, but Joe with a snap power slam as Sabin ran towards him straight off the ropes. Joe, no, that's a 2 count. Already seen one title change hands, the Raw title. Now in the hands of Lars Nightfall. New season, new challenge, as in the past brought some shocks, and it has done the same in this match as well. By the way, the last time new season, new challenge was contested back in 2014, there was an Intercontinental Championship change. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Claudio Castagnoli to win the championship. Nakamura went on to have a 291-day reign. About 9 years ago. Joe drops the elbow from the top rope. How often is it that you see a guy in Samoa Joe who can fly like he is right now, like we've seen, and have the submissions, and have the striking. He does it all, but Sabin, great job fighting off his back. Joe to his feet, Sabin, springboard kick, and caught him right underneath the jaw, but Joe rolls straight back to his feet. You cannot stop this guy. Knife edge chop, Sabin, got his arms up, Sabin. Maybe that's one way to stop Joe. You gotta do whatever you can now. Sabin whips him off, beautiful chop, double kick from Chris Sabin. Grounds him, and Sabin feels like his first cover of the match, and it's a 1 count. Samoa Joe is just flying through this thing. Sabin going in maybe for a belly-to-belly, but Joe, beautiful block. And now Joe turned him around. German suplex from Joe, but he hangs on. Joe into the dragon suplex and a straight jacket German. Samoa Joe with the trifecta, but it didn't get it done. Sabin rolls out, probably for his own protection, and Samoa Joe. Is Joe gonna follow him? Joe giving him a little bit of time. Sabin back to his feet, and Sabin caught Joe coming all the way around. Sabin, beautiful job to turn it into an arm drag. Joe right back to his feet. Sabin tossed by Joe as he was looking for a powerbomb. My God, you can't stop Samoa Joe. Joe, 3 quick kicks. We know that Samoa Joe is one of the strongest men, and in fact, his kicks are measured at the 4th highest velocity in all of GAW. I bet you can guess who some of the top 3 are. I can tell you this: Aleister Black, Takahashi, they're 2 of them. Samoa Joe is wickedly powerful. When Chris Sabin back into the ring, Samoa Joe is there, and now Joe slid in from behind Sabin, and Joe locks him in the coquina clutch. Samoa Joe, it is locked in deep. That is tight. Chris Sabin, can he possibly break out of this thing? Sabin, he's going after the hands. He's got to be able to free himself. Undid the legs, and Chris Sabin, did he just get out of the coquina clutch? He did. I can't believe it. Now Sabin gonna take to the skies with a DDT. I can't believe Chris Sabin just survived the coquina clutch. Thrust kick to the back of the head. Now Joe, dazed and staggered for the first time in this match, and Chris Sabin took advantage. Absolute buzzsaw of a kick, but it's only a 2 count. This is Chris Sabin's best opportunity of the match. Can he make good on it? Sabin gets him up onto the shoulders. Cradle shock. Chris Sabin going for IC title number 3. Sabin hooks the leg. Chris Sabin, no! Oh my God. The cradle shock. Not good enough. Sabin's gonna go up to the top. Sabin's gonna take to the skies, and he's caught by Samoa Joe. Joe caught him in the coquina clutch. For the 2nd time tonight, Samoa Joe has caught Chris Sabin in the coquina clutch, and this time, Sabin cannot escape. Chris Sabin did everything he could, but Samoa Joe, the Intercontinental Champion, is leaving that way. Oh my goodness. What a match, and it just continues our grand tradition here for the talk about what the Intercontinental Championship is. Because I don't think anyone really knows what it's supposed to be. And I swear to God, I will rip some heads and remove some manhoods if I ever hear the phrase mid-card title again. See, Evolution has its Raw Championship. They call it the Underground's title. That's all good. I've never been to the Underground and I don't want to. But if you're the kind of person that came from that world, then that's your title. But this title is for tough men. Do your research. The history of this title is nothing but the hardest bastards this sport has ever seen. The longest reign belongs to Walter. He'll chop you so hard your chest becomes your back. Second longest is Drew McIntyre, the guy who's saying he's the champion of the world and he's got the gold to prove some of that. You've got Shinsuke Nakamura, who kicked people's heads in before that Dutch guy got involved. AJ Styles, the first one ever. Jon Moxley, who'd stick you with barbed wire as soon as look at you. And a lot of those guys went on to win world titles in other places, but the only reason they were ready for that is they held the white belt. A white belt stained red with the blood of the toughest, most brutal, most sadistic competitors this company and this sport have ever seen. And now, I step into that line. And I'm a different animal. I'm the kind of guy that people see on the card every show and hope they're not scheduled against. I am the perfect man for this championship because I am the toughest man in the world right now, and I'll tell you why. I got thrown off the top of a truck 20 feet straight down onto concrete, and it was the memory of me that chased the guy who did it away. He could have been on top of the world. He destroyed the world champion and might have ended the world champ's career, but he ran away because he knew that I'd be back someday. And while that might be good news for him because he's back with his family, he took his mask off and he works in insurance now or whatever he does. I promise you that me being back is not good news for anyone else, because I was ready to give up the rest of my life to get my hands on the man who tried to end me. But if I can't do that, I'll take my vengeance out piece by piece on every man who steps in with me. I'll use my fists and my legs to send you to the spirit world. I'll use my muscle buster to break your back like I had mine splintered. And most importantly, never forget that I will use the coquina clutch to put you to sleep. You know, some might call me stupid to do something like this, but I'm going to take you through the strategy of putting together a World Cup team. In this case, Team Canada, the undisputed favorites to be the champions of the world. The first step is choosing a captain. You got to have a guy you trust, a guy with impeccable wrestling knowledge, and a guy who you know can pick up the most crucial win in the most crucial match. That's how you get Bryan Danielson, Lee Carr, Roman Anoa'i. But 5 guys make up these teams. So your support guys need to support the mission. American Samoa is a family. Japan is a collection of the strongest strikers on the planet. The US is a meld of the best talent they could come up with. Australia, well, every tournament needs a whipping post. The bottom line is you have to choose carefully. You either need some submission guys to get you those extra points, or you need to finish matches quickly, either by size or by skill. The World Cup is difficult. It's hard to win. But I will tell you this, the best team construction will get the job done. And the best team construction, it's the Maple Leafs. Title Barnstorm was going to continue, and it most certainly is. Lacey Evans defended against Seattle's finest, Candice LeRae, back at Nitro. Evans is still the United States champion, and now here in Las Vegas, Vegas will send its finest, Nikita Lyons, to take on Evans. Evans making her 6th defense of the United States title. If she wins tonight, it will be tied for the most defenses in the history of the US title. Ronda Rousey currently holds that record. Lacey Evans coming out now in Las Vegas. I think for a while she was focused on the beginning of the US Title Barnstorm, and she knew that she had to stay that way. And when you talk about the kinds of women that she faced, Kylie Ray, Jazz, Ember Moon, Caitlin Dunlap, Candice LeRae, but what we're seeing is that Lacey Evans more and more is realizing that the entire country is embracing what she's doing with the US title. It's so much different from what Ronda Rousey did when she was the US champion. This is a different mentality. Lacey Evans, a different kind of wrestler. This is poised to be the defining United States Championship reign. Now, I don't think I need to tell you just what Nikita Lyons brings to the table, but there's some shocking speed from the Las Vegas native. But it doesn't take a genius to put this together. Nikita Lyons is incredibly strong. I think that goes without saying. Lacey Evans is going to have to find a way to deal with this. Lyons, I believe, is probably the strongest woman that Evans has had to deal with during the US Title Barnstorm, possibly even stronger than Jazz. I think she's right up there. So this is a different strategy here if you are Lacey Evans. And Nikita Lyons using that Las Vegas home crowd backing to assist her. Lyons has jumped out all over Lacey Evans. And now Evans grinds her down straight into the crossface. Lacey Evans just trying to get control of this match however she can. It's a good strategy. But Lyons again. She is so big, she is so strong, and now Lyons going to fly with the tope suicida. Oh my goodness. Lacey Evans might have met her match. You want to talk about a matchup nightmare, by the way. Someone like Nikita Lyons, with the strength that she's got, I mean, it's difficult for anyone, but specifically with Lacey Evans, when you are a striker like her, it's, you know, this isn't necessarily what you train for if you're Lacey Evans. Obviously, she's got the ability. She's going to have to put together a different kind of performance than we've seen from her in the past. She is more than capable of doing that. Approaching the 8 count here, Lacey Evans will slide back in, breaks the count. Evans comes back out, and Nikita Lyons tried to jump on top of her, and it didn't work. Evans drops her with a choke slam. She did her best. Did Nikita Lyons to try to get on top of Evans. It didn't work. And now Lacey Evans going back to work. Lyons trying to get on top. Evans rolls through. As Lyons, I'm not sure what she was looking for there, but it wasn't going to be good, I can tell you that. Lyons sends Lacey Evans back in. Evans, oh my God! Evans just drilled her with the M9. Lacey Evans is going to retain the US Championship. Nikita Lyons had no idea what was coming. And Lacey Evans just absolutely massacred her with that M9. Still probably the most dangerous maneuver, the most dangerous offensive move in women's wrestling right now. And Lacey Evans now ties Ronda Rousey, the most prolific US champion in history. Can she break the record? Only time will tell. Folks, Kacy Catanzaro defended the Women's World Championship at Nitro. It was a clinic against Mercedes Moné, and Catanzaro, not resting on her laurels, she made an appearance at the GAW Academy to help train some of our young prospects. So the thing is, when you get to GAW, these are the best athletes in the world. And the biggest thing that anyone learns when they start in GAW is that you have to be able to use every opponent's strength as a weakness. So if I'm going to use, and we can do this right now, so if I'm going to use my speed, I'm going to try to come at you, all you have to do is just respond to it. There you go. There you go. Nice. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You know my speed's coming at you. Just roll out of the way. And then at that point, it's just a matter of reacting quicker than the opponent. You can see how fast we move. You can see how fast these women are going to come at you. But if you get up against those athletes, just use it to your advantage. Championship.
Now we're talking.
Wow. What a main event this will be, and no rest for the weary. Drew McIntyre has to step right in and defend his title against one of the most dangerous men GAW has ever produced. Bobby Lashley, a former Intercontinental champion. Samoa Joe earlier was talking about the toughest men in the history of that title. Bobby Lashley is most certainly one of them, a three-time Intercontinental champion. But Lashley has yet to win the GAW World Championship. That could end today.
What's that metronome here? Perhaps the end is drawing near. You never hear the shot that takes you down. Out of time.
Look at this. Drew McIntyre. He has 4 championships, by the way. McIntyre, the GAW World Champion, the WXW Unified Champion. He's carrying both of those with him. But in addition, he is the WCPW Champion and the MLW World Heavyweight Champion. He won all of those titles back at Nitro when he defeated Will Ospreay in an epic main event. Another match of the year contender, McIntyre, today putting the World Championship up for grabs against Bobby Lashley. But McIntyre, a legend already because of what he's done. What an opportunity this is for Drew McIntyre and for us to see our new world champion. Look at the focus on the face of Drew McIntyre. Here we go. This will be Bobby Lashley's second time fighting for the GAW World Championship. The first time was back at Sandstorm in Dallas, 2019. AJ Styles was the champion. That was right in the middle of Styles' 378-day reign. He amassed 8 defenses during that time. Only time will tell if Drew McIntyre is able to amass numbers like that. Lashley, oh my God, Bobby Lashley just took to the skies. Did you know he had that in his bag? I certainly did not. But Drew McIntyre, an epic performance against Will Ospreay, landed him here as a quad champion. How many men in history have been able to say something like that? So what the future of McIntyre's 4 titles are, I don't know. We talk about holding the titles of 3 different promotions, and the WCPW title more of a, I would say, a ceremonial possession, but certainly a valuable one nonetheless. McIntyre is a former WCPW champion. That title means, I'm sure, about as much as any of the titles that McIntyre has, with the exception of possibly the GAW World Championship, the most valuable title on the market currently. McIntyre is the champion, and McIntyre showing why as he's overpowering maybe the most powerful man in the sport of wrestling, Bobby Lashley. This is what Drew McIntyre does for fun. McIntyre beats men like Lashley, but Lashley, nice takedown into the cover. Lashley trying to get a quick victory over McIntyre. That's not going to work if Will Ospreay couldn't do it. Unfortunately, I don't think Lashley can do it either. But now Lashley's right hand goes in, caught by McIntyre, and McIntyre, look at the incredible strength. Absolutely phenomenal from McIntyre. Lashley came in, right hand again, caught by McIntyre, future shot attempt, countered by Lashley. This is what the GAW World Championship is. You put the best athletes in the world together, and this is what they do. Over 500 pounds of the toughest professional wrestlers in this ring, and they're doing things like that. Again, only a 1 count from Lashley as things roll on here in the main event of New Season, New Challenge. The main event of Evolution's New Season, New Challenge saw a title change. Takahashi, who also won his title at Nitro, went down at the hands of Lars Nightfall. Are we going to see something similar here from McIntyre? If Bobby Lashley has his way, we most certainly will. Now Lashley gets him up. McIntyre, oh, Lashley. Off the inverted slam, the street cutter from Lashley. It's only a 2 count. I thought Lashley might have had that in the bag, but now McIntyre making his way slowly to his feet. Lashley, full Nelson. Lashley, that full Nelson submission that we've seen from him, and McIntyre, he's a lot bigger than most of the guys that Lashley would normally try this with. And Lashley, he's trying to swing him the way that he normally does to get extra leverage on the neck, and it's not going to happen. Drew McIntyre just too tall and too strong, and now McIntyre forcing him into the corner and follows up with the big time right. Lashley down, nursing the chest. McIntyre has hit him with lariats here today, and a lot of them. And there's the German. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're the 235-pound Will Ospreay or if you are the 285-pound Bobby Lashley. Drew McIntyre is tossing you around. That's just the reality. Now, McIntyre will take his opportunity to fly. Oh, Drew McIntyre, you absolute champion. Drew McIntyre, an unbelievable performance, and Lashley's just being ragdolled by the quad champ. By the way, no William Regal out with Drew McIntyre today. Regal had become a mainstay with Drew McIntyre last season, helping him win the WXW Unified Championship from Tristan Archer, and then helping him become the quad champion that you see. McIntyre with the DDT. Regal is currently in Orlando preparing with Team UK. McIntyre with the Claymore. You're looking at the captain of Team UK, and we might see some of that in Orlando. McIntyre retains. Didn't even need the no true Scotsman on this occasion. Drew McIntyre is still the GAW World Champion. A hard-fought battle from Bobby Lashley, a man who I imagine is going to be world champion at some point. I mean, I can only imagine. You see the ability that he's got. But on this particular night, Drew McIntyre, the Scotsman, the Claymore, the Quad Champion. This is the top of GAW. This is the peak of professional wrestling. Folks, thank you all so much for joining us for new season, new challenge, 2 incredible names. Absolutely no way! It's Nigel McGuinness!